My cunning plan to harvest watt hours from the 4 EcoFlow 100 watt solar panels I have fixed to the back of the house has a couple of flaws. Firstly, because the cabling can only go into one of the back bedrooms, it means I can't have a power station attached to the solar panels and use it where I need it around the house at the same time. Secondly, and surprisingly given that I'm on the west coast of Scotland, on a sunny day my EcoFlow Delta 2 is fully charging its 1 kilowatt hour capacity in a morning or an afternoon, and it's only April. To solve both issues, I decided to buy another 1 kilowatt hour power station so I could have one charging and use the other one to power devices around the house. I didn't want anything much bigger than around 1 kilowatt hour capacity because a 3 to 5 hour charge time from the 400 watts of solar panels worked best to be able to rotate the power stations. Whilst I like the EcoFlow Delta 2, I wanted to try another brand, and I wanted the cost per kilowatt hour to be lower than the EcoFlow products. After the usual weeks of research and review watching, I decided to give the Aferiy brand a try, especially after noticing their products are regularly on offer, and so I bought the AF-P110 from Amazon with a £250 voucher offer. This equates to around 53 pence per watt hour based on its 1248 watt hour capacity. Whilst the AF-P110 is heavy at 15.5 kilos and physically much bigger than the Delta 2, measuring 39 by 23 by 32 centimeters, it has a nice look and feel with two robust carry handles moulded into the design. Included in the box are an AC charging cable, an MC4 to XT90 solar charging cable, which both have reassuringly robust cables and come in a quality zipped bag, as well as a nylon cover. On firing it up, the display is bright and has all the working information you need as the different charging functions are switched on. Whilst the unit shuts down after about 5 minutes of inactivity, the display simply dims if any of the charging options is active, so I'm not sure if it will eventually be prone to screen burn. There is a lidded compartment on the top for cables, and the power in and AC out sockets also have covers, although I removed the latter as plugging in transformer based plugs was an issue. Like the EcoFlow, the Aferiy has lithium iron phosphate batteries, so should be good for the advertised 3,500 cycles. However, maximum output on the Aferiy is 1200 watts versus the Delta 2's 1800 watts. Both use pure sine wave inverters. Whilst the capacity is 1248 watt hours, in the real world, using the power station to power my desktop setup for nearly 10 hours, including periods of standby, I got 896 watt hours, or about 72% of the capacity. Obviously 10 hours is a decent amount of time, and you pay the energy cost of the inverter, the fans, power management system, display, etc. in watt hours. A big win for the Aferiy is its quiet fans, which are just above a whisper even when rendering videos or gaming. Quite the contrast with the Delta 2, which generates nuisance levels of fan noise. Whilst there are only 2 AC outlet sockets, the Aferiy excels on USB ports, with 2 USB-A QC 3.0 ports, 3 USB-C PD 20 watt ports, and 1 USB-C PD 100 watt port. If 12 volt outputs are your preference, then there is a 10 amp car charging socket, 2 3 amp DC 5521 sockets, and a potentially very useful 12 volt 25 amp XT60 socket, which should be enough to power many camper vans. Mains charging is pretty swift and starts at the 700 watt maximum, but it was good to see that as the power station approached 100%, the rate of charge slowed to better protect the batteries. In my case, mains charging from 0 to 100% took 2 hours and 35 minutes at an energy cost of 1,416 watt hours, or around 114%. Both solar and 12 volt car charging are via an XT90 socket, and importantly this has an upper limit of 50 volts and a 500 watt maximum. I get the sense that the MPPT solar controller is rather good, but we'll run a comparison with the EcoFlow Delta 2 in a later video to offer any evidence that this is true. The AF-P110 will self-start given enough solar watts, which in my case seems to be between 15 and 20 watts. All power in and power out functions are switched with buttons that work on the first push with a reassuring click, and the unit has an LED light with the often seen 3 settings. There is no wireless or Bluetooth connection or app, so fingers crossed the firmware version I have installed will stand the test of time. The lack of an app also means you cannot change any settings, like for example the battery warning at 10% capacity, but I'm not sure this is really a game changer for me. The UPS mode is a very welcome function given the increasing number of power cuts we're experiencing, and the quoted switchover time is less than 10 milliseconds. The AF-P110 has the usual protection mechanisms, and the overload protection button is easily accessed. I have to say that so far I've really enjoyed using the Aferiy, and I cannot understate how quiet it is, which is a joy when using it in my office. I would also like to give a shout out to Aferiy's customer service, who are truly world class in their care and attention. The inner and outer boxes of the first unit I received had been pierced by the courier, which would have required significant force, and this caused a small crack in the base. The unit was replaced and I was informed daily of progress in sending the replacement. As usual, I'll update the description with any relevant information as time goes by. It's all good.